Horizon Brave is one of those Jaegers that, despite staying in the shadows and going practically unnoticed in the film, has a history rich with details that expand the Pacific Rim universe. However, there are many gaps that I've had to interpret to make this story much more coherent. Therefore, what I'm about to mention falls into the territory of theories, and while I have artwork provided by Murata Studios, nothing said here is the ultimate truth. I think that's obvious, but I'll repeat it every now and then, just in case. Alright, when the kaiju disaster first hit, all world powers decided to set aside their rivalries to create an effective defense system. Following the success of Proto-Jaeger Brawler Yukon, other Mark Is emerged, such as Romeo Blue, Cherno Alpha, and Coyote Tango, but the People's Republic of China didn't want to be left behind and immediately designated a massive budget for Jaeger technology development. Chinese scientists didn't want to rely on Brawler Yukon's blueprints, so they sought help from Russia, who agreed to provide the Cherno Alpha plans to be used as a base. China had the vast resources and factories needed to speed up the process and lower costs, giving them the chance to invest that saved time into developing new technologies focused on the neural link and a clean energy source. With an initial budget of $116 billion, China launched its secret program named Horizon. This cost was incredibly high, considering that not even Tacit Ronin or Coyote Tango had such massive funding for their secret programs. China was aiming for mass production and a winning duo, drawing inspiration from Cherno Alpha to ensure Horizon was a tank capable of taking damage and slowing down kaijus. The program allocated an additional $20 billion after the discovery of CCLO, an experimental energy source based on organic liquids. This source was considered cleaner and safer than the nuclear reactors used by other Jaegers. The primary reason was pilot protection. Since Neuralink technology was complex and exclusive, it simply wasn't efficient for pilots, who represented millions in training and compatibility investment, to die of radiation poisoning after only a few years. Finally, on December 22, 2015, the Horizon Brave program was revealed to the world. The final costs were quite simply brutal. Tech and blueprint development, $136 billion. CCLO Clean Energy Engine, $110 billion. To give you an idea, Tacit Ronin's triple-core heart cost $86 billion. Torso, interface, and engine cavity, $31 billion. Lower body, $9 billion. This brings the total to $286 billion. To understand the scale of this insanity, we have to look at three fundamental points. Geopolitical arrogance. This figure wasn't just an investment, it was a declaration of national pride that bypassed all financial defense logic. By spending $110 billion on an organic engine alone, China paid a massive premium. With the budget of a single Horizon Brave, Russia could have built nearly 4 Cherno Alpha units, walling off their coasts with proven walls of steel instead of an experimental prototype. The Onison Program was born with the goal of mass-producing Jaegers, but it tripped over its own complexity. While Chinese factories could lower the cost of the chassis, the CCLO engine was so expensive that no other nation had the capital, specialized labor, or technological components to fund a Jaeger that was also considered slow. Without international investors, the project was frozen, turning Horizon into a technological white elephant, too expensive to be a tank and too slow to be an assassin. Despite the massive financial failure, Horizon Brave's technology was not in vain. It served as the necessary martyr for Crimson Typhoon to shine years later. The Chinese formula of freeze and execute wasn't crazy at all. Having a tank slow down the enemy's atoms so the final executioner could deliver the killing blow was a brilliant war strategy. Unfortunately, that CCLO energy engine was the pebble in the shoe that sunk the project under the weight of its own ambition. China's motives were noble and completely valid in trying to save their pilots from radiation death, but in the middle of a war for survival, humanity needed stability, not just good intentions. This is my opinion based on the records and theories we've analyzed, but what do you think? If you made it this far, thank you so much for joining me on this technical breakdown. If you have questions about this or any other Jaeger, leave them in the comments so I can answer them in future shorts. And remember, if you want to keep receiving unique and interesting content, just hit that subscribe button. I'm Cyber, and this is the Cyber Zone. See you in the next video.